can have it on the TLN site as well. Thank you guys for taking some time and spending some time with us today. As you come in, if you could just please go ahead and mute yourselves so that we don't have a whole bunch of noise, I would appreciate it. And like I said, my name is LaDonna Allen. I was lucky enough to be able to live in Japan for 3 years. So you see up on my main screen here, that is my family when we lived in Japan. And the other picture is me climbing Mount Fuji. I'm glad we got a picture of it because I will not be repeating that exercise. And the first thing that I want to alert you guys to is on your agent profiler. So this is super, super important. We're going to look at agent profiler, and I want to make sure that you've done two things very specifically. I want to make sure that you both have put in that you are a Japan specialist, as well as you have selected Princess Cruises. So it's really important that you've gone in, you've updated your agent profiler so that you're getting those leads that are pre-qualified sent directly over to you. Those things are all really important, and sometimes we just want to remind you to make sure that you're also working on your business and not spend all of your time in your business, right? We have to make sure that we take the time to kind of do some of these administrative things that will pay off down the road. Also, I wanted to remind you about Princess Plus. Princess Plus, we pretty much are really leaning into these new packages that we have. And there's a comparison chart here. There were some updates that were made in the last couple of weeks. And I just want to make sure that you guys all kind of have that on your horizon. What I would highly recommend is that when you are quoting, you are adding Princess Plus or Princess Premier at the time you're quoting this. It's important to kind of look at what the differences are between Princess and some of the other brands, which is why we have the comparison chart up here. But specifically, if you've got a group that's traveling, I would recommend that you include Princess Premier maybe for the group leader, and make sure that you understand what those differences are, because if you've got a group leader, they're going to also have the photo package that's included. They'll have specialty dining, but for me, the biggest part of that, if it's the head of the family or if it's a group leader that's traveling with them, you want to make sure that they have access to those unlimited photos as well. And I think some of my slides may have kind of gotten out of order here. Here's another one from Agent Profiler. This shows you specifically where you choose your supplier partners, and also where you can go and customize my places on the map so that you can highlight where you have personally been. So for me, I would highlight that I've been here to Japan, and not only does it enhance and show your specialization, but it also gives you an opportunity to really highlight your real world experience as well. So we're going to keep moving with this. If you're not familiar with the Distinctive Voyages program, we have had Distinctive Voyages to Alaska for several years. And with Distinctive Voyages, you have some special things that are included. In Alaska, you've got Fanny Q Saloon, you've got 2 breakfasts at the Denali Princess Lodge, you've got the Tundra Wilderness Tour upgrade, and you also have the Husky Homestead excursion. I do know that they are oftentimes looking for additional hosts for the Distinctive Voyages program. I have been a host myself, so if you are interested in that, I'd be happy to have a conversation with you and supply a recommendation for you. And so now our newest program in the Distinctive Voyages program is Japan. And our Japan itineraries, not only are they really great itineraries, but they give you the ability to be able to really see the destination of Japan in a way that you can maximize your time, and you can see a lot of things. So first I'm going to play you guys a video, and then I'm going to introduce Rose with JNTO, the Japanese National Tourism Organization, and she will give us some really in-depth information about the destination of Japan. Let's see if I can make this play. Can y'all hear it okay? Perfect. All right, that's a beautiful video. Oh, we're going to try to go to the next slide here. And now I would like to introduce you to Rose with the Japanese National Tourism Organization. And I am going to stop sharing my screen so that she can share hers. Take it away, Rose.
So everyone can hear me okay? Audio's all right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll just go ahead and share my screen.
The direction of the lobby or the main focal point are these large glass elevators.
Okay. Everyone can see hopefully okay. All right, is the screen up?
Yep, you're up and you're
Perfect.
ready to go.
All right. Thank you guys so much for coming. Welcome. So my name is Rose and I'm the marketing coordinator at JNTO's Los Angeles office. I'm really excited to be here today to speak to you all about Japan and introduce you to some really stellar destinations. So this is part 2 of the webinar, and we really appreciate you coming back to get into this sort of deep dive. So as many of you know by now, Japan has lifted all of its COVID entry restrictions. So we've been fully open for about 3 months now, and we're just so excited to welcome you all back. So let's go here. Perfect. All right, now pre-COVID, 19 major airports in the US serviced direct nonstop flights to Japan. And since our reopening, we have been seeing these departure points slowly returning. So these don't just connect you to places like Narita or Haneda Airport, which would put you right next to Tokyo, but also airports in the West like Kansai International. So you do get that ease of access when traversing those Western regions as well. Now, Japan is at the top of everyone's bucket list at the moment, and part of its appeal really spreads or stems from being able to experience that really rich culture alongside the glitz and glamour of those metropolises. So I'm sure you've all noticed that there's been a bit of a shift in recent years for what travelers consider to be luxury. So it's not just a matter of material goods, but these great salt of the earth experiences that feel really exclusive and authentic. So the joy of a destination like Japan that blends the old with the new like this is you don't have to feel like you're giving up any creature comforts while also feeling like you're getting this really wonderful immersive experience. So one little handy phrase that sort of encapsulate this in Japanese there is gokan de kanjiru. So this means fully experiencing something using all 5 of your senses so that you can really appreciate it to the fullest. Now, most first or second time visitors to Japan have probably encountered some of those larger cities. So these have those lively crowds, buzzing nightlife. These are really prime destinations for those who are dipping their feet into Japan for the first time. And it never really feels like you can fully explore these larger cities, no matter how many times you stay. So they are great for repeat visits as well. Now, at the same time, you'll find the idyllic countryside in Japan really lets you see this different side of Japan with these beautifully preserved landscapes, traditional architecture, historic sites. So, what draws a lot of people to these more off the beaten track destinations is really feeling like you're immersed in Japan, whether you're hiking through mountains and old trade routes, or soaking in ancient hot springs, or strolling through these beautiful lanes of rice fields and cherry blossoms. Now, for those who are looking for more of that historical architecture, you can visit traditional castles throughout Japan, as well as Shinto shrines and Buddhist temples. So these are really great ways to learn about Japan's native religion of Shintoism, as well as Buddhism. And some of these buildings do date back hundreds to even 1,000 years old. So you can really appreciate the authenticity and tradition that Japan takes all of these painstaking efforts to maintain. Now, Japan also has quite a variation of nature as well. So it is a very longitudinal island, right? So you've got these areas up north that are subarctic, areas down south that are subtropical, and everything under the sun in between. So it's a really great destination as well for adventure travelers. You can find really beautiful dive spots, hiking routes, mountain ranges for skiing and snowboarding. But if you prefer to more relax in nature, you can find really beautiful flower fields, gardens that have seasonal blooms, as well as even traditional Japanese gardens, even in those larger cities. So you can really kick back and relax no matter where you are. Now, of course, we can't talk about Japan without talking about the food, right? So, Japanese food is actually a designated UNESCO World Heritage, and Tokyo alone has the most Michelin star rated restaurants in the world. So, there is a bit of a misconception that going out to eat in Japan is this massive expense, but you'll find a lot of these really great local flavors are way cheaper than you would find in the States. And actually, right now, it's about 140 yen to the dollar. So, that's about a 40% increase compared to the standard rate. So at the moment, you're really getting your bang for your buck. Now, for those who are interested in getting their hands dirty, you'll find a lot of great hands-on crafts and workshops, from washi paper making and ceramics to flower arrangement and calligraphy. So I'm personally of the opinion that these are some of the best experiences when it comes to souvenirs, because you get to make some of these items under the watchful eye of an expert or a master artisan, so you know it's going to look good in the end. But at the same time, you get to add that personal touch. So it does make for a really wonderful memento of your time in Japan. But you can also do some great foodie craft experiences, like making your own traditional wagashi sweets. You can make your own udon noodles, sushi, or even more intricate experiences like tea ceremony. Now, Japan has some of the best transportation in the world, and passport holders are eligible to purchase the Japan Rail Pass. So this gives you unlimited rides on JR lines. So this does include the Shinkansen bullet train, limited express and local lines, JR buses, even a ferry. So this is a really great option for those who are looking to really hop from city to city, or want to take lots of day trips out of those central hubs using that extensive train network. And it is available for within 7, 14, and 21-day blocks. So it really is built for that long distance travel. But if you're an international license owner, you can rent a car, and some car brands will even come with English GPS. But of course, private transfer is a great option as well. Now, if you want to upgrade your train experience on the bullet train, you have a couple of options. So the green car is available as a JR Pass upgrade. So this gives you a business class experience on the train. So just a bit more spacious seating, fewer crowds overall. And there are actually 2 Shinkansen bullet train lines that offer a first class experience with grand class. So the first is the Tohoku line, so this heads up north to Hokkaido, and the other is the Hokuriku line, which heads to Kanazawa. So it's between Tokyo as well in these places, and this gives you a really wonderful, spacious sort of 2-1 row seating. You get butler service as well as first class amenities. Now, when you're getting around Japan, you do have a few different options for staying connected. So it's always a good idea to contact your phone carrier, see what international plans that they might have for you, but you can also invest in pocket Wi-Fi or a travel SIM. So you can typically find both of these at international arrivals. So some things to consider when choosing between the two would be if your phone is unlocked and if you need to make international calls, in which case a travel SIM is a great way to go. But if you don't really need to make calls, pocket Wi-Fi is a great option. And typically these connect up to 10 devices at once. So it's really great for families and larger groups. But you'll find as you go around Japan in sorry, I think we've got some sound coming through. Make sure everyone's mute. Thank you. But you'll find that as you go through Japan and some of those larger train stations and cities, you'll find free Wi-Fi available as well. Now, Japan is considered one of the safest places to walk around, and people are really friendly and obliging. So with common sense, you should get through your trip just fine. But in case you've lost an item or you yourself have become lost, just look for a koban. So these are basically small local police stations. They can assist you with directions, maps, lost and found, and emergency services. You can find these scattered all throughout different areas of Japan. Now, shopping in Japan's also varied from department stores carrying luxury goods and brand names that we all know and recognize to 100 yen or $1 shops where you can buy cheap souvenirs and snacks in bulk to take home. If you want more traditional goods, you can browse temple flea markets or visit historical craft shops for some really unique traditional items that tell a story. So what you want to keep an eye out for is that designated tax-free shop logo in the corner there. So there are roughly 35,000 retail shops in Japan that are eligible for tax-free shopping. So what this means is if you make a purchase of over 5,000 yen or about $40, your purchase is tax-free. So all you need to do is present your passport to the shop attendant and they'll take care of all the necessary paperwork. Now, in addition to all the really wonderful hotels throughout the country, as well as really charming bed and breakfasts, you can also experience some more traditional and unique accommodations at different points through your stay in Japan. So we usually recommend that you try a ryokan or a Japanese inn at least once during your travels. And this gives you that really great experience of tatami floors, as well as sleeping in futons. And you also tend to get adjacent hot springs that you can use as well. Another really great unique option is shukubo or temple lodging. So this is where you get to stay overnight at a Buddhist temple. So this is a really great way to unplug from your trip. You can enjoy activities like Zen meditation, chat with the head priest over some tea, and you can also try Buddhist cuisine or shojin ryori. So this is a really great option for those who are vegetarian or vegan because no animal products are used in these. But if you want a really unique experience and a very luxurious one, there are a couple castles in Japan that do offer a castle stay. So obviously the space for these are really limited, but it really does make you feel like the lord or lady of the manor. Now, a question people often ask is, when is the best time to visit Japan? And the honest answer is there's really no wrong time to go, and that's because every season in Japan has something really unique and novel about it. So for example, summer is great for, of course, water sports, fireworks displays. This is also the season for climbing Mount Fuji when the trails are open. In the autumn, you get to enjoy those beautiful fall colors, and this is also harvest season in Japan. So you've got some really great flavors coming into season like chestnuts, sweet potatoes, mushrooms, really nice woodsy, earthy flavors. Winter is, of course, great for winter sports enthusiasts. This is also the quintessential season for soaking in hot springs. You get that nice contrast with soaking in the hot water, but looking out on the snowy landscape. But of course, a lot of people want to go to Japan during the spring to see those beautiful cherry blossoms. So if you are wanting to see the cherry blossoms, one good thing to remember is that they bloom from south to north. So the warmer regions down south will see them as early as late January, and the cold regions up north will see them as late as early May. So you can sort of plan your visit accordingly depending on where you're visiting, but if you find that you've arrived a little too early or a little too late, you just have to chase the blossoms in whichever direction. And you can actually flip this pattern around for autumn leaves if you're looking to see those fall colors. They start changing from up north and move down south. Now, most people who visit Japan on their first adventure take what's called the golden route. We often recommend this because this gives you a really nice snapshot of Japan. You have a great balance of big city, nature, tradition, and great foodie destinations, and it's typically done in 7 to 10 days, so it works really well as a pre-post. So I'll run through this route very briefly. So you would start off in Tokyo. So of course, this is the major international hub and the center of pop culture, shopping, fashion, tech. It's a great jumping off point to start your journey. And most people who are flying in will start off in Tokyo as well. So getting around the city is very easy using services like the Tokyo Metro. So you can see a lot of great iconic sites very easily. So if you get in nice and early, you can head right to the early morning fish markets to get some breakfast, hop around, check out some temples and shrines in Asakusa, or go up on the Tokyo Skytree for a great view of the city. You can shop in ritzy areas like Ginza, Nihonbashi, and then in the evening, you can hop around bars in Roppongi. You can do all of this really easy in a single day. You'll never really want for activities. You can create countless itineraries in Tokyo. So after Tokyo, you can hop on the bullet train to Hakone. So this is really where you get to relax in nature after a few days on the go in the big city. And the hot springs are the bread and butter of this area. So this is usually where we recommend staying in a ryokan, or a traditional Japanese inn, overnight. So you get to really enjoy soaking in those beautiful waters, get a great view of Mount Fuji. So you can also do a lot of relaxing daytime activities, sightseeing activities like hopping on the Hakone Ropeway over Owakudani Valley, see those beautiful sulfur vents, and then you can then hop on a sightseeing boat around Lake Ashi, get some more great nature views. You can check out some of the museums in the area as well, and for more adventure seekers, you can enjoy activities like hiking, cycling, paragliding, and more. So after Hakone, you would hop on the train again and head to Kyoto. So this is where people really get their fill of tradition here in Japan. So it was the capital for over 1,000 years, and the locals will still insist it's the true capital, with 17 UNESCO World Heritage Sites and 2,000 temples and shrines. So this is another great place to stay in a traditional inn. A lot of people like heading to the Gion district to catch a glimpse of the famous geisha in the area, or you can even have a private geisha experience while you're in town. But then you can also get dressed up in kimono yourself, get properly fitted for a stroll around town, enjoy the traditional ambiance, check out some of those great temples and shrines in the area. Or if you want some nature, you can head to places like Arashiyama and enjoy those beautiful bamboo groves. And then finally, just next to Kyoto is Osaka. So this is colloquially known as Japan's Kitchen, with over 1,000 restaurants in the Dotonbori area. So this is a great place to try kui daore, which means eat till you drop. So people have a blast just hopping around all of those restaurants and bars, trying all the local delicacies. Some great fried foods here like kushikatsu, takoyaki. These pair really well with beer, some of my favorites as well. But it's also a really family-friendly destination with places like Universal Studios Japan, Osaka Aquarium, and Osaka Castle's a great place to visit, especially in the spring with those cherry blossoms. Now, in regards to cruising, Japan has over 50 major ports scattered throughout the country, so it's a really great destination for cruises to connect to some of these major hubs. So Kobe and Yokohama are the two major ports that you'll find a lot of cruise lines will start or end their journeys, and it's a short ride to Tokyo and Osaka from these points. So they're really well suited to itineraries like the Golden Route. So these cities themselves have plenty to do in their own right. You can take a day or two to explore just these places, whether you're trying regional specialty foods like Kobe beef and ramen, visiting traditional sites outside the city like Himeji and Kamakura, or enjoying just the restaurants and entertainment that you can find in those harbor areas. But today I do want to introduce you to some regionality in Japan, so we're going to go on a little bit of a journey around the country. So we're going to start up north in Hokkaido. So this is the northernmost island of Japan that's known for its mild summers and very cold winters. So this is a really great destination if you're a winter sports enthusiast. You can enjoy really prime powder snow in places like Niseko, that's famous for snowboarding and skiing. But in the summer, it's also cooler than the rest of Japan. So it's also a great place to beat the heat, enjoy the beautiful blooms like their lavender fields in the warmer months as well. So Hokkaido's actually famous for its fresh seafood, ramen, dairy, whiskey, beer. You're going to have your hands full trying all of the local delicacies here. So a great activity if you stop into port is heading right to the morning markets nice and early. Try some of those fresh catches of the day like crab and shellfish. For those who want to try some great alcohol in the area, you can try regional beers at the Sapporo Beer Factory or do a whiskey tasting at the Nikka Whiskey Factory. And there are lots of great places to just stroll around in those major ports. Lots of really beautiful canals, winding streets, ropeways that you can ride to get phenomenal views of the cities below. All right, so we're going to move down south a little bit to Tohoku. So this area is known for its countryside vistas, and it's also the leading producer of rice in the nation. And where you get amazing rice, you're going to get amazing sake. So it's a great place to visit some of these incredible breweries. Some of them are hundreds of years old for some regional sake tastings. So you've got some chances for some really great nature excursions, lots of really gorgeous forests, mountains, valleys, coastlines, and lakes. So you can enjoy activities like hiking, cycling, kayaking, canoeing, and more. If you really want to get your hands dirty, you can even enjoy a farm experience where you get to actually see how you would cultivate there. And this is also another great area for hot springs. Ginza no Onsen is one of the most famous hot spring towns in the country. You can see from the photo down there. The architecture is very traditional. You get a very distinctive feel here where the town center is car-free, so you really feel like you're escaping that hustle and bustle of the city to relax in those beautiful mineral waters. All right, so we're going to move down a little bit further to more central Japan. So this area is known for its mountains and nature in the Chubu region. It's lined by the Sea of Japan up north. So this is actually a really popular alternative to the Golden Route for repeat visitors who want to get off the beaten path a little bit. So you would start up Tokyo, kind of go up north through this area and wind back down to Kyoto. So this is another great option to consider for a pre-post. So Kanazawa is the main port of this region. We often liken this area to a sort of Kyoto alternative. It's a city of artisans. It's famous for its traditional crafts like paper making, gold leaf, silk dyeing, and more. And it was also one of the main geisha districts in Japan, still very famous for it. So if you didn't have an experience with geisha in Kyoto, you can do it in Kanazawa. But this whole region is particularly famous for its mountain ranges. It's home to the Japan Alps, so this is an area that's really perfect for snowboarding and skiing enthusiasts or hikers who want to walk the old trade routes of Japan. You can find these really incredible preserved post towns that look like they've been plucked right out of the Edo period with their old architecture. So you can really enjoy that kind of ambiance in towns like Shirakawa-go and Hidatakayama, or see some really uniquely stunning sights like the Nagano snow monkeys bathing in hot springs in the winter. All right, so we're going to jump a little bit more west again to the Chugoku region. So this area is known for its sunny weather, beautiful nature, and really great food from the Seto Inland Sea just south there. I have to admit I'm a little bit biased because I lived in this region for almost 5 years, and it's still one of my favorite places to visit whenever I go to Japan. So most people who visit here make a stop in Hiroshima. So this also serves as its major port. It's home to some really beautiful nature and historical sites. You can really easily get around the city. Much of what you'd want to see is near the station. And from here, you can also access Miyajima Island. You can see on the top right there. So you can see Itsukushima Shrine here with that beautiful red torii gate that looks like it's floating over the water at high tide, and at low tide, you can actually walk out to it to take some photos nice and up close. But the weather in this whole area tends to lean nice and warm, so it's a great place for outdoor activities like cycling along the coast, hiking in places like Mount Daisen. You can even paraglide over sand dunes in Tottori. And it's also known for its fruit cultivation, so I usually recommend for those who want to see the countryside to head to a farm, check out the flower fields, or pick their own fresh seasonal fruit like peaches, grapes, strawberries. I can personally tell you that the fruit parfaits in Okayama are the sweetest ones I've ever had in my life. Oh, whoops. Looks like it exited out. One moment, please. Let me just get back down there. We'll just fast forward a little bit to get back there. But okay, so after that, we would jump down to Shikoku. Let's get to that area. All right, so this is the smallest of Japan's 4 major islands. It's also blessed with really great weather, lots of great outdoor activities. So you can find a lot of really pristine rivers flowing through this region, which makes it really perfect for activities like white water rafting and paddleboarding, and some really stunning beaches as well. A lot of surfers will visit the southern coast of this area around Kochi because the water is just so clean and stunning. And this is also one of the major ports. So you can really take advantage of this area with some great sake tastings, as well as fresh local seafood like skipjack tuna. So this area is also famous for its many temples. So there's actually a pilgrimage you can do here to visit 88 temples, following in the footsteps of the famous Buddhist monk Kukai. But of course, seeing 88 is a pretty monumental task if you're just in town for a day. So you can just take some trips to visit a few of these temples while you're around. A lot of people also use the northern part of this region as a base of operations to explore that inland sea. So this area is actually kind of considered an art haven. Lots of really great arts and crafts that you can do, even art islands with beautiful installations incorporated into the natural scenery. So you can get your hands dirty with workshops and also just enjoy sightseeing around those islands. All right, so we're going to jump down a little bit more south to Kyushu. So this is home to some great weather and beautiful natural formations. So in particular, it's really famous for its hot springs. You can find a lot of hot spring towns all over, but Oita is considered the homeland of hot springs in Beppu. Some households there don't even bother bathing at home. They prefer to use local bathhouses for the really high quality water there. But the main ports here are Nagasaki and Kagoshima. From here, you can easily get into the cities or arrange day excursions out to see some really great nature. A lot of really great foresty havens like Yakushima Island that has Japanese cedar trees that are thousands of years old. But even in the cities, you can find really beautiful gardens, castles, and areas to stroll around. And there's a lot of really great local food here like sweet potato liqueur, creamy tonkotsu ramen, and crispy sara udon noodles. Getting hungry thinking about it. But the takeaway from this area is it's a great place to go out in nature and then indulge in the luxury of a hot soak at the end of the day. And then finally, way down in the southernmost part of Kyushu are the islands of Okinawa. So this is a subtropical region in Japan. It's famous for its coral reefs, clear waters, mangroves, really gorgeous beaches, and it's one of Asia's leading diving spots. So a lot of people come here to enjoy activities like hiking, snorkeling, surfing, kayaking, and scuba diving. So Okinawan culture you'll find is a little bit different from mainland Japan because it was originally its own kingdom with its own language. And you can really feel the difference when you take ferries out to some of those smaller islands. One great activity that you can do in one of the small islands, Taketomi Island, is hitching a ride on a water buffalo cart. So this will wind around town and the driver will serenade you while playing a sanshin, which is a traditional stringed instrument in Okinawa. But you can get a taste of the local cuisine, lots of great specialties like stewed pork, bitter Goya melon, soki soba noodles. People in Okinawa actually have the highest life expectancy in the country, and it's largely attributed to the food as well as the lifestyle of the locals. People really place an emphasis on living well, laughing often, and have a really strong connection to their communities. So I know that I covered a lot in a very short amount of time. Hopefully these destinations have inspired you to learn about Japan and all the other beautiful places in the country. If you want to learn more, you can become a Japan travel specialist. So we have a couple courses here, lots of benefits, and it's really catering to those who are not super comfortable marketing Japan just yet. They feel like they need a bit more of a foundation. This is a really great resource that we encourage you to take advantage of. Now, in regards to Travel Leaders Network, you've got your pick of really great preferred suppliers. We've got tour operators, wholesalers, and in-country partners. We really encourage you to take advantage of these resources when you're planning your itineraries for your clients. And we've, of course, got some amazing select hotels as well. You notice a lot of these are in Tokyo and Kyoto, which are right on the Golden Route, so really, really conveniently located. And then finally, we have just a brief video to show you. Hopefully it will inspire you on your travels. Okay, so that's it for me. If you have any questions, feel free to contact one of our offices. So I'm from the Los Angeles office, but we do have one in New York as well. And of course, it's really great to also check out our website. We have a lot of great resources for you to learn all about Japan. And that's it from me. Thank you so much. I'm going to pass it back to LaDonna. Thank you.
Thank you, Rose. You did a really great job. I learned a lot. That's always exciting, right? Thank you so much. So now what I wanted to do, can you confirm you can see my screen again, Rose?
Yes, I can.
Thank you. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about also let me switch some of my screens around, the Diamond Princess. So one of the things that I think really sets Princess apart in terms of how we do Japan is the fact that we sail to Japan on the Diamond Princess. And the Diamond Princess was built in Japan and customized for guests to really enjoy Japanese culture on board. She's not a huge, she's kind of one of our mid-sized ships. She's 2,670 guests. She has 740 balconies, and she also has an entire deck of mini suites. And one thing you'll find, which I thought was interesting, Rose talked about how in Japanese culture, that onsen, the Japanese baths are very important. This particular ship over indexes in mini suites because we had to have more bathtubs on board. So that's why you see there's more mini suites on this particular ship. And when you're on board, you have these immersive Japanese experiences. So this is really kind of where Japanese culture and entertainment come together on board the ship. And what we want to do is provide um, a really accessible experience for people, as you know, especially in the US, not as much in Canada, but especially in the US. Sometimes we want to have a little bit more comfort whenever we're traveling, right? And so here you have a truly immersive Japanese experience Yet all of the announcements are going to be in both Japanese and in English, and you have the opportunity to have this really tactile, immersive experience, but also in a way that's very accessible, even for those who aren't quite the intrepid traveler, but are ready to kind of go out into some of these more exotic destinations. And if just to give you an idea of some of the things that we do start each and every one. You see down here at the bottom, there's a sake barrel, and we start each one of the journeys with the captain's welcome party, and we do a traditional sake barrel breaking ceremony. And this has been done in Japanese culture for many, many years to ensure good fortune on your new undertaking and when you get started on your voyage. So it's the perfect start to a cruise. It gives you an opportunity to really be part of the culture. Also, in the dining rooms, you're going to have both your princess favorites and you're also going to have regional flavors in all of our dining rooms. And if you think about princess, we really are about immersing you into the destination on board the ship as well as on land. So you're going to have both those creature comforts that you're used to, but you're also going to have regional flavors that are sourced locally. In the main dining room, you also have kai sushi on board, so there is a unique sushi restaurant on board. And the really great show, if you've never seen this, we do it in a couple of other trades as well. If you've never seen The Secret Silk, it is an amazing show. So we don't do Broadway shows on board a ship. What we do is we do Broadway style production shows that are bespoke shows that were created by Stephen Schwartz, who is the creator of Wicked and Godspell and Pippin on Broadway. But these shows are created specifically for Princess. And this show, Secret Silk, is really leaning into some of the cultural heritage that you have in the local region. There's some puppetry, which is very important in Asian culture. And it just really is a fantastic show. If you've never seen it, I would definitely recommend seeing it. I took my grandson on a voyage on the Royal Princess, and they happened to be showing this. He was only 4 at the time, and not only did he want to see it once, but we went to both showings. He wanted to see it both times. Another really important feature that she talked about is that onsen, the Japanese bath. This is the only ship that has a Japanese bath at sea, and it really offers that indoor, outdoor Japanese bath experience. And now I'm going to show you a little video about the Diamond Princess. And all of these videos that I have shown, I'm sure Rose can get us her video as well, but my videos are on YouTube, and I can also send them to you in MP4 format if you want to have them in MP4 so that you can share them on your social media as well. So here's a video on the Diamond Princess. Whoops, if I can make it play. Here we go. Well, hold on. See if we can make it go again. There we go. All right. Well, as you can see, we have all of your princess favorites on board. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the itineraries that we're going to be offering. So we've got 5 sailings on the Diamond Princess. They do include that complimentary shore excursion that the Distinctive Voyages program offers, as well as a cocktail party and, of course, the Distinctive Voyages host on board. The first itinerary is a 13-day Circle Japan fall foliage. This has 10 ports and it leaves November the 18th of 2023. And you heard Rose talk to you about a lot of these different ports. And what I really find very interesting is all of the different sites that you can see just in 13 days. And if you look at this, it is a very, very port intensive itinerary, but it does give you a really great in-depth look at the destination of Japan. And fall foliage, you guys, is amazing. In terms of the weather, it is going to be turning a little bit cooler, so that's something that they want to prepare for. This is one of those destinations where you want to kind of pack for 4 seasons in one day because the weather is going to be changing at that time. And if you look at the map of where these different ports are, you're probably going to have a little bit different weather in each one of the ports as well. Keep in mind that each one of our ships, to include the Diamond Princess, does have washers and dryers on board, so tell your passengers not to overpack. They'll be able to do their laundry on board. Now, the next voyage that I have is a 10-day Thailand and Vietnam. So, a little bit out of the box. We weren't expecting Thailand and Vietnam to be part of a Japan program, but it is on the Diamond Princess. And one thing that I wanted to point out to you guys is that White Lotus is currently being filmed in Thailand. So, this should be timed very nicely with when White Lotus premieres. So, we wanted to put this in there to also bring some light to the variety of different voyages that we do have in the Asia market. Now we turn over to 2024. Rose mentioned to you very quickly about spring flowers. You guys, this is absolutely amazing. I will never forget the first year I was in Japan. I moved into my Japanese house. We were stationed in Yokosuka, and I moved into my house in Mabori Kaigan, which is on the water, and we moved in on Valentine's Day. So my very first trip to Tokyo was in March. We took the train, we went into Tokyo, and the first place that we went was Ueno Park. Ueno Park has these cherry blossom or these cherry trees that line the entire span of the park itself. And when you're walking through Ueno Park, it feels like you're walking through pink snow. It is absolutely amazing. It's like something out of a movie. It's something that you won't experience anywhere else in the world. And I think Princess does a really good job of timing these so that we give you a great opportunity to view the best of spring flowers in Japan. So this one is 10 days. It is round trip Tokyo or Yokohama as well. This one of the places that it goes to that wasn't on the previous itinerary was the Kanmon Straits. And that's one place, a little bit like Glacier Bay. For those of you who have been to Glacier Bay, this is where you have some really great opportunity to do some scenic traveling through the Kanmon Straits. And this is a great place that I would recommend that they do the ultimate balcony breakfast and just be kind of prepared for this transit through there because it is a really amazing transit when you're coming in between Honshu and Kyushu, which are two of Japan's main islands. So this strait here connects the Sea of Japan with the Inland Strait, and it's been a really important piece of Japanese maritime history. So you'll hear a lot about that from our historians that are on board. They'll talk to you about the history of the maritime tradition in this particular area. Another date that we have for spring flowers, this one is April the 7th. And on this one does go to Shimju for Mount Fuji. So here you could take the time to go and visit Mount Fuji. Don't forget to take your picture whenever you're at the top of Mount Fuji because you just never know. You may only want to do it one time as well. It is hard, y'all. I promise you it's hard. The other voyage that we have is 10-day Japan Explore with Kumano fireworks. Now, the Kumano fireworks is one of the giant fireworks shows in the southern area of Japan. It is the biggest firework festival and it dates back over 300 years. And it's said to have begun when people were shooting off fireworks as an offering to the spirits during the Oban festival. This is really interesting because when I was there, this is something that I wouldn't have been able to go to. It is very difficult to have an opportunity to be able to go into some of these festivals unless you have a way to get tickets or you have another way to see these festivals. And here you'll be able to see the Kumano fireworks from the ship from the Diamond Princess. We do have customizable sales tools that are currently available for you. I am going to be emailing all of these out to you as well. Japan 2025 was released today. So you should have that in your email inbox. If you don't have it already, you will be getting it soon. We will be doing Distinctive Voyages in Japan 2025 as well. We don't have those dates as of yet, but we will have those very soon. And I wanted to make sure that you guys paid attention to the fact that both the South America release and the Japan 2025 release have an early booking offer that's attached to it. So it's up to $2,000 in OBC and ShoreX credits, but the voyage has to be booked by September the 15th. It is combinable with any of the other programs that we have out there, like the early booking offer that's out there. If it were a Distinctive Voyages program, then it would be combinable with that program as well. So know that that is available, and it is combinable with everything else that is out there in market. And now we're going to get to our giveaway. And our giveaway is October the 23rd, 2023. It's an 8-day Southern Islands round trip Tokyo, Yokohama. This goes to Okinawa and it also goes to Taipei as well. So this is another great opportunity for you guys to see a different area by visiting the Southern Islands. I'm going to show you one more video to wrap this up because I have to change my screen over so I can show you the wheel and we're going to do this drawing live. thank you for joining us. And I just want to wrap it up with the latest video that you may be seeing in your local TV audience viewing area.
Exciting and new. Go aboard. We're expecting you. The love boat. So we'll be making another run. The love boat. Promises something for everyone. Set a course for adventure. Your mind on a new romance. Love won't hurt anymore. It's an open smile on a friendly shore. It's love. Welcome aboard. It's love.
You know, you guys are all going to be singing that for the rest of the day, right? It's going to be stuck in your head now. Okay, so I am going to attempt to bring my little wheel over here. All right, can you guys see my wheel?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we are going to draw live. Now, what is going to happen if it's not your name that you see up here right now? What I do want you to do is send me a quick email if you are available for that October voyage. I don't have any flexibility on the date, so if you send me a quick email, my email address is lallen@princesscruises.com, and I'll put it in the chat for you, but you're also going to be getting an email from me this afternoon as well. But if you are able to go, then let me know, because if the person who is drawn here live is not able to go, we will just keep spinning the wheel until we get someone who's able to utilize that voyage. Here we go. All right, our winner is Sue Luther. Sue, if you're on here, let me know. And again, anybody that is not able to go, but it was not drawn here, but you are able to go on that date, send me an email, because we definitely want to make sure that this gets utilized. And with that, I will see if there are questions that we can answer live. We've got just a few minutes left. All right, Lily, can you unmute yourself? I don't see if I can unmute you. Lily, you want to put your question in the chat box? Okay, I see a question that says, I have a USA approved service dog. How would that be handled? That's a very good question. We do have an access department that will work with you to get the service dog on board. Now, Japan is pretty dog friendly, so I wouldn't, there are very few places that I would think that the dog is not welcome, but what is important is that access department will work with you and let you know from a cultural perspective what is appropriate in the destination that you're traveling to, and they will go through those approvals with you.
And I can also add to that, just I would definitely check with your local consul general regarding that. And also, if you go to Accessible Japan, which is accessible-Japan, that also has some great information about service animals in Japan. So definitely recommend checking that out.
Accessible-Japan, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Priya? See if I can unmute you.
I didn't have a question. I clicked by accident. Sorry. Thanks, though.
Oh, you've been muted, LaDonna.
Myself. Okay, I'm gonna try. I see your question, Sandra, about where to get the videos. I will send those to you. They are all on YouTube currently, but I will send you the YouTube link whenever I send my follow-up email with the flyers out to you guys. And if you need them in MP4 format because you want to post them, let me know. I can get that for you as well. All right. Well, we are right at 3:30. So if you have any other questions, I put my email in the chat, and I know that Rose gave out her email as well. Thank you for taking your time and for spending this time with us today. Have a very good afternoon in Japan. Bye, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.